Guys, so we're in underneath of the desk here. I left the open side of the stand in towards the desk, so I had easy access into the stand here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So you can't see that from in front, but I am going to start with the install of some of the equipment we're going to be using. Just because if for some reason I need to move the stand, I'd rather do that before putting sand, rock, and water in there. So I'm going to start by installing the power bar. I'm going to put it on this post right here. That way I can create drip loops in behind the stand here, so I don't have to worry about any water ever getting inside of the power bar itself. And then we'll start with the ink bird and we'll move on to the auto top off system. I'm going to go ahead and start getting this installed now. Alright, so we got the power bar installed. It's good and solid. And I am going to mount the ink bird up top. Put the probes where they need to go in the tank, and then the ink bird will be plugged in down here along with the lighting and everything else we need. So this is the very beginning to an awesome tank build that I hope everybody's looking forward to. So we'll go up top and we'll get this ink bird installed now. Alright guys, so I already installed a plug into my wall. These walls are steel studs. There's no stud here anyways, but I put a plug in to hold the ink bird, which will be slightly behind the tank, yet I'll be able to still see it from my computer when I'm sitting there. So I'll go get the tank and we'll put the tank into position. Then we'll bring these probes up and put them where they're supposed to be. All right, so this is exactly where the tank is going to be sitting on the stand. These two probes here, we have to bring around. We want to get them into the back of the tank itself right here. So I'm just going to run these now. So they're very generous in the wire length here, guys. So you could have this pretty good distance away from your tank, and you'll still have no issues with making sure that you're going to be able to reach. So both sensors, they come with these suction cups. You'll see they come with these suction cups, so you can put that down near the sensor to hold it in where you want it. You don't have to worry about it coming loose. Sorry guys, I'm just untangling the wires here. Well, I'm just going to put them in the back here. I'll put this one in the back as well. There we go. Now I'm just going to clean up this wire in the back here because there is a lot of extra wire. And I'll be right back with you guys. We'll start working on that auto top off. But that's pretty well it for the ink bird. Okay guys, we're going to get started on putting in the Duetto auto top off system. Again, very simple to do these. If it's your first time, you will have no problem. They're very simple to do. So I'm just going to start with getting this hose all unwrapped. We'll get the hose management installed that holds it in place. And everything else is going to go underneath. So then we'll go back down there and we'll attach the little mounting bracket that holds the actual unit itself, and we'll get everything going. All right, so there's our hose or our tubing. I like to always give it a good, just pull your hands along it like this really hard. It helps straighten it out when it's been wrapped up. Okay. So if you remember, this is the little tube holder. So I'll be putting that right here. You know what, I'm actually not going to put it there just because that's where I'm going to be putting the filter. So I will put it here. All right. I'm just going to feed the tube down, so it's going to go down the bottom where I can get a hold of it. Okay. You just put your tube through, and you want to make sure that it's going to be above the water level. So the water level, I'll bring you guys in close so you can see here, hopefully. The water level in this last compartment, I can't see if you guys can see, is going to be at this, let's see here. You can see that divider down there, right here. That divider is going to be the water height. So you want to make sure the tip of this tube isn't going to be in the water in the back here. If this tip is in the water, you risk a back siphon. So just make sure that when you put this tube in, it's going to be above the water level in the back. All right, so we got the tube on. I'm gonna cut these off after, guys. I won't leave them, obviously. But we got our tubing in place for the auto top off system, and we'll go down below and we'll get that set up. All right, guys. So we're back underneath again. So we're gonna have to plug in the 12-volt power supply for the Duetto. And then I'm probably going to mount it somewhere under here, right up here or something. It'll be easily accessible for me. And that way it'll still leave enough wire coming from the sensor up top that I'll be able to make a nice drip loop in behind the stand. And I don't have to worry about water getting to any of the powers. Here's the tube that we'll have to hook up to our pump. But we'll be doing that in a little bit. I'm not doing that right this second. All right. So I think I'm going to mount it right here. Yeah, I probably should have my drill, but it's only a couple screws. All right. There we go. And we can create a nice big drip loop back here for it, keeping any risk of water away from the power sources, which is exactly what you want. So as everything's getting mounted here, guys, you want to make sure that your power, where it's coming from and where it's plugged into, you want to create a loop below that. So water was to run down the line, it'll drip off the bottom of the loop and it'll never get into your power bar. Okay, that's a very important thing. You see these people that they burn up their power strips, and they have, some people have even had fires. But I mean, that's a big thing you need to be careful of. Just make sure you put drip loops in. Take your time, make sure that everything loops out before it gets to the power bar, so that way you'll never have salt water drip down the line. And it could just be from you doing work up there, spill a little bit of water, it'll come down the line, it could go right into your power bar, destroy your power bar, destroy your plug, could cause a fire. So just make sure you put those drip loops in, and then you don't have to worry about that ever happening. Okay, so I'm going to plug this pump in just so it's plugged in, but I don't have the jug out here yet, and it's going to go underneath. Actually, I think I'm going to put it right in this corner so I can access it easy. Down the road, I know that I'm absolutely going to be dosing this tank. I'll have to keep up with it as it grows in. That's why I put these 2x4s in here, thinking ahead. I'll be putting a shelf in there where I'll put a doser, and then underneath in the bottom here, I'm going to use, my plans are to use all Aquaforce products on this tank. So I'm already using the Aquaforce salt, and I'll be using components 1, 2, and 3, which will be down in the bottom here, and then the doser will be dosing to the tank. That's down the road. We're a long ways from needing that, but I might as well set things up for the future. And last but not least is the power supply. Guys, that's it. This auto top off, once I put this little pump in the jug and I plug this plug in, it'll work. There's nothing to it. These things are really made for the new reefer. You don't have, with my Apex, if you've seen my previous videos talking about some of my programming and code that I have in it, I had to write code for the way I use the auto top off in that. It's a little more advanced, but these things here are really, really simple. Anybody can do it. All right, there's our pump. Here's our power. As you can see, it's turning itself on. And it's trying right now. You see it's flashing blue. I'm going to unplug it. I could feel that the pump turned on, so the pump was trying to top the tank off, obviously because there's no water in it. That's the auto top off system, guys. Super easy to install, and nothing to be afraid of. All right, so let's move along to the fun part. We've got our auto top off installed. We have our Inkbird installed to control our heat. I'll plug a couple heaters into that a little after. But now we're going to put some sand, and we're going to put that awesome aquascape in there, and we're going to start putting some water in the tank. All right, guys. So I'm going to start with, I'm just going to put the layer of sand in the bottom. Now, if I was doing a really deep sand bed, I would put my rock in first, but I'm not too concerned about on this tank because the sand bed's going to be quite shallow. All right, here we go. Maybe. This sand is wet because it's live sand, and you are supposed to put the liquid, or the water is supposed to go in with it before everybody starts attacking me and telling me I should have rinsed it. That is the way this sand is supposed to be used. Just kind of spreading it out a little bit, getting it somewhat even, but we'll fix that up after. Alrighty, well, we got our sand bed. Just gonna grab the aquascape here. I think we decided to go something like that. And this guy here. There we go. Sand bed's in. Our aquascape is in. I think it's gonna look awesome, guys, when we start getting all this covered in coral. You'll see there I added one more island and branch going upwards since I finished it. I thought I needed just a little bit more height. All right, so let's get to putting some water in here. All right, guys, so I'm just waiting for some more water to be made. I wasn't thinking ahead. I should have made some, but while doing that, I got the Prime 16 HD put on here. Heaters put in there, and then we already went over doing the auto top off system and the Inkbird. So there is the divider that I was trying to show you earlier in the video. Can't see it even with, anyways, you can see it right there. The water is going to come over that, so you want to make sure that that hose, you can see I have it quite a ways above. That's what you want to make sure of, so you don't get a back siphon. But I've already put my program in. We'll see how it goes. Just waiting on some more water. I'm surprised at how blue it looks. If I put a filter on here, maybe that'll make it look better, but it really doesn't look that blue to me. It is pretty white. But anyways, we're just waiting on some water. What do you think, Drake? Hey? He doesn't care. Okay, so we'll get some water, and then we'll get back to finish filling this up, and we'll get it running. Just thought of one more thing I wanted to point out. Now, I showed you guys how it comes with the biomedia. It comes with the activated carbon, and it comes with the sponge filter. I personally don't like these. I'm not saying that they're wrong. By all means, use it. But I buy filter floss in bulk. I buy it in very large rolls, and I prefer to use filter floss. So what I've done, a slight alteration of the tank, is I just put a piece of acrylic on either side. I siliconed in. You can see there. And that just allows me to install this little crate of egg crate. This little piece of egg crate in here. Maybe. All right, I think I gotta trim it down. But anyways, that'll go in there, and then I'm gonna have filter floss sitting on top of it. That's the only difference or alteration I've made to the tank. But I just wanted to show you guys that. All right, so I trimmed it up, and now you can see it fits in there. And I'll just have filter floss sitting on top of that. Alright guys, I just wanted to show you another thing while we're waiting for the water. Another thing that you want to make sure you do is, this is the activated carbon that came with the tank. You always want to make sure you rinse it. Like, watch this. See all that? You don't want that going in your tank. Alright, so you got to make sure that you rinse, even when you know, buy your own and fill your own bags. Always rinse it. Make sure that it's nice and clean before you put it into your system. Get all that off of it, the powder and the dust. I even take it as far as the those bio donuts or whatever you want to call them. I will rinse them off as well, just to make sure that they're clean. There's no residue or powders on them. So just another little tip, guys. Make sure that you do this. You don't want all this going into your tank. Alright guys, so I'm going to leave this video here. You can see the tank is filled up all the way to the top. Everything's running perfectly, and we don't have any issues here. So hopefully everything goes well with this system in the days moving forward. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. The next video will be cycling the tank and getting ready for fish and coral. So until the next time, guys, make sure that you take care and happy reefing.